Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So after the zygote or the embryo, it gets implanted into the uterus. Then further, all sorts of development take place. Now, initially what happens? The chorionic villi, they start attaching onto the placenta so that, it can have a good grip at it. After that, the placenta is formed. Now, what is placenta? It is the unit which is responsible for sending all sorts of nutrients, hormones, and everything from the mother to the fetus or the embryo. Now, apart from that, placenta acts like an organ which connects the fetus with the uterine wall. Let us see what are the functions that the placenta has to perform. The first thing is that it acts like an ultrafilter. Ultrafilter means whatever is coming from the mother to the fetus, that gets filtered. So that is there. Then it transports all sorts of materials, whether inorganic, organic, nutrients, hormones, and antibodies. So from the mother, it goes to the fetus. Placenta also acts like an endocrine gland, and it secretes hormones such as human chorionic gonadotrophin, human placental lactogen, and relaxin. And if you remember in the previous class, I did tell you people that these hormones are only secreted in the case of the pregnant females. I think we had also discussed about the parturition, isn't it? Now, talking about the parturition part, so after the embryo has been completely developed, meaning after the fetus is now very well developed, so after 9 months, that is the whole entire time period for which the fetus will be developing, we call it as the gestation period. So it is 9 months in the case of humans, 38 weeks, or you can also say 266 days. So that is the gestation period, the time period for which the human pregnancy lasts. Now, this gestation period can vary from organism to organism, meaning in cats, in dogs, in elephants, it will be different. Now, as soon as the implantation takes place, the inner cell mass, which was there, right, trophoblast and inner cell mass. So now the inner cell mass, it would start developing these layers, the outer ectoderm, the middle mesoderm, and the inner endoderm. Now, these ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm, they're very important for the formation of organs. Now, the inner cell mass, it contains a special type of cell, which is called as the stem cell. You people might have heard about stem cell preservation. So this stem cell has this ability or has this property to give rise to all the types of tissues and organs whenever need be. Now see, the gestation period for dog is 60 to 65 days. For elephants, it's 607 to 641 days. And for cat, it is 52 to 65 days. And now let us talk about how the developmental process takes place throughout the pregnancy. So after the first month is completed, the heart of the embryo is formed completely. And the whole entire 9 months, it has been divided into trimesters. First trimester, second trimester, third trimester. Now, when we talk about the first trimester, so the first 3 months means first trimester. The next 3 months, second. And the last 3 months, the third trimester. Now, see. So when we talk about the first sign of growing fetus, the first thing, because the first structure that is formed is the heart. So the first thing is the heartbeat. It is listened with the help of stethoscope and also with the help of ultrasound machine. Now, by the end of the first trimester, most of the major organ systems are formed. All the organs, the genitalia, all these structures are formed after the first trimester, meaning after 3 months. And when the second month is completed, the limbs and the digit means these boxes in our, like the things that the boxes we say, these are there in the hand, those are also formed. And when fifth month is completed, the fetus starts to show the movement, and also hair is also there on top of the head of the fetus. And when the second trimester ends, meaning the 6 months are completed, so the body of the fetus will be covered with fine hair. Their eyelids would separate and the eyelashes will be formed. And by the end of the third trimester, meaning when The 9 months are completed. Now the fetus is fully developed and it is ready to come out of the body of the mother. Then comes parturition. Now, what is parturition? This is actually the process wherein the fetus is delivered out of the mother's body. Okay, this is also, you can also call it as childbirth. And this is induced by neuroendocrine mechanism, meaning it is under the neural control as well as it is under the hormonal control or endocrinal control. Then comes the fetal ejection reflex. Now, once the fetus is fully developed, along with the placenta, then a signal is sent for parturition, meaning for childbirth. And because of this signal, the contractions of the uterus, they start to arise a lot. They become higher and higher and higher. And then because of these contractions or these signals, a hormone called as oxytocin is released, which makes the contraction even more strong, because of which it leads to the expulsion of the baby through the birth canal. And you people know what birth canal is. It is the cervical canal along with the vaginal passage. And after the baby is delivered, the placenta is also expelled out of the uterus because now the placenta is useless. Parturition is clear, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Then comes lactation. Lactation is basically after the child is born. Now that child needs to be fed for all sorts of nutrients, antibodies. So the production of milk by the alveoli of the breast in order to feed the newborn is what we call as lactation. Obviously, the newborn has to be fed. So the milk produced during the initial days of lactation, we call it as the colostrum. And this, like the first milk that is ever produced, this has a lot of antibodies, which are very important. So imagine ready-made antibodies are given to the newborn. You people have studied this in that chapter. Which chapter? Human health and diseases. So this is what it is. Now breastfeeding during the initial period of infant growth is recommended. Obviously, for the first 6 months, it's very important so that the child can get the necessity or the necessary amounts of nutrients. Clear, students? So with this particular chapter has been over. Now, students, apart from this chapter, sexual reproduction in flowering plants and reproductive health was not done, right? For you, both of you, Amna and Siddhika. Answer.
Sorry, ma'am. What did you say?
I was saying that apart from human reproduction, what other chapters were not completed for you and Amna for you?
For me, ma'am, it was only until the three reproductive chapters. Human health, not human health, sorry. The
Reproductive
third
health.
chapter, that's, yes, me reproductive health. That's all that I'm
Okay.
missing.
Okay, Amna, you tell me.
Ma'am, first and third chapter.
First and
Third.
okay, so it's the common for both of you. Okay. So now you people can note it down. What is the last thing you people wrote down in the previous class?
Ma'am, we wrote the oogenesis.
Oogenesis. Okay.
Hello, ma'am.
Walaikum salam. How are you, Yaya?
Fine, ma'am. Alhamdulillah.
Studies are going on, yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Now is the time to revise everything and
Yes, ma'am.
study. All of you, those who have done the whole entire syllabus, now start learning everything. Okay, so you people have to write from ovulation, this menstrual cycle.
Yes, ma'am. Starting from the
Okay.
menstrual cycle.
Done, students?
Done, ma'am.
Done, students?
Done, ma'am. Done, ma'am.
Done, students?
Yes, ma'am. Done, ma'am. Done, ma'am.
Done, students?
Done, ma'am.
Okay. Now see, for the rest of it, you can take screenshots. I'll scroll it for you so that I can start a new chapter today. So take the
Okay,
screenshot, tell
ma'am.
me when you're done.
Done, ma'am. Done, ma'am. Done, ma'am. Done. Done, ma'am. Done. Done, ma'am. Done, ma'am. Done. Done, ma'am. Done, ma'am. Done. Done, ma'am. 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 Done, ma'am.
Okay, see, you have taken the screenshots, but like whenever you get the time, try to complete your notes, okay? I
Yes,
just did
ma'am.
it so that we don't waste more time and we can start a new chapter. But do note it down, okay?
Okay.
All right, so now talking about the next chapter that you people missed, that was reproductive health. Now see, in the reproductive health, we first need to know what is the meaning of being healthy in terms of reproductive health, right? Reproduction. So basically, when a person is healthy in aspects such as physical healthiness, emotional, social, and behavioral. Now, in the year 1951, India started a family planning initiative under this program, which was called as RCH, Reproductive and Child Healthcare Program. Now, basically, why was this program started? Why did the family planning and all of these things had to be done? Because of overpopulation. So the problems and strategies of reproductive health, the first thing is overpopulation. It is one of the major concerns connected with reproductive health, because we know that when every single couple starts having more than 2 kids, then obviously the number of individuals in the world will start increasing, which will be very detrimental as far as the resources are concerned. No one will get enough food to eat, enough space to live, and all of that. Family planning is the best way to solve this problem of overpopulation. Then comes this RTH program, also had this sort of like a, what do you say, initiative to make the youth or make the people aware about what reproduction is and about reproductive health. They created like radio, TV, media, right? Newspapers and everything. And governmental and non-governmental agencies also worked for this awareness programs. Even after that, parents, relatives, teachers, they can also provide the awareness to whoever needs it. Particularly the youth needs to be aware about everything related to reproduction and reproductive health. Apart from that, the sex education was encouraged in schools so that, like, like important information and the misconceptions, the things about good touch, bad touch, all of these things must be taught in the school. So this was one of the concept yet again. Knowledge about the STDs, that is sexually transmitted disease, the sex organs, the birth control devices, then the care of the mother and the baby. Prenatal means before the birth of the baby, postnatal means after the birth of the baby. So both these cases, the mother and the child both has to be taken care of. So that was also one objective. Prevention of sex abuse and sex related crimes, information about infertility, and also about amniocentesis. So all of these things were like, people were made aware or educated about these things. Now talking about what amniocentesis is, basically it is like a fetal sex determination before the fetus is even born. So it is a fetal sex and disorder determination test, which is based on chromosomal pattern of embryo cell in the amniotic fluid. Right? So this is what it is, this whole entire process. It's not a bad thing, but it's when people started to misuse it, that like as soon as they knew that the fetus is a female, so they caused abortion of it, meaning they killed the fetus, which was a female. Only the male they would let it be born. So this is called as female feticide, which is obviously so not ethical. So this was the reason that amniocentesis, that gender determination, was actually banned in India. Now talking about the measures that are used to control the overpopulation that there is, the first one is education. Obviously, every single person who is in the reproduction age or reproductive age, they should be educated about how it is good, how it is beneficial so as to have a small family. Right? There was the slogan "Hum do hamare do," which tells us that we too and our 2 kids, like how it is good. And there are many people that, like, there are many couples that only have one child policy. They do not plan for another kid after they have one kid. So this is about education. Like, people should know what are the benefits, what are the disadvantages, and everything. Then comes marriageable age. There is a legal marriageable age that has to be set, which is 18 years of age for females and 21 for males. Below this, if anyone's family get their kids married, then that will be illegal. Incentives must be given so that people would be, you can say, understood, or like people would sort of understand how it is important to have a smaller family, and also to educate people about the family planning. So these were all the ways that maybe the overpopulation can be controlled with the usage of these. Now, what are the reasons for overpopulation? We know when people do not die, obviously they'll stay alive, so they'll stay on the earth, and that is population. So decrease in the death rate. When the death rate or mortality is decreasing, So obviously no one is dying, then obviously the population will increase only. And if the birth rate is increasing, then also the population will increase. When we talk about the death rate, so that is of like two types: maternal mortality rate and fetal mortality rate. Maternal is when the females of the age that that are like that can reproduce. So those females, if they are not also dying and the uh, individuals are not dying, then obviously the population is going to explode itself. Now, coming on to the main topics of this particular chapter that tells us about what are the birth control methods. Birth control means contraception. Contraception means all those methods with the help of which the conceiving of pregnancy would be discontinued or avoided. So the methods of birth control, we call that as contraception. Now, for contraception, people use contraceptives. So what are those characteristics which makes a contraceptive good enough to be used? The first thing is that it should be user friendly, meaning whoever is using that should be comfortable to use it. It should be easy so that they don't have to seek help for anything. Apart from that, all of the, you can say, contraceptives that are used, they should have no side effects. Then only people are going to use. Apart from that, it should be reversible, that the couple that wants to have a kid, maybe later on they can have a kid because the contraceptives that they were using, it was reversible. So that is the case. And it should be effective. The contraceptive should be effective, meaning it should do what it is supposed to do. Talking about the methods of contraceptions, so here are they: natural method, barrier, then chemical method, intrauterine devices, oral contraceptives, injectables, implant, and surgical methods. We have to study all of them. The first one is the natural methods of contraception, under which the first one is periodic abstinence. This is also called as the rhythm method. So basically in this, the sexual intercourse or the coitus has to be avoided during the day 10 to day 17 of the menstrual cycle, meaning during the ovulation period of the female, the coitus has to be or must be avoided because this is the fertile period of the female. So if the coitus would be completed, then obviously the female may get pregnant. So the couple should avoid coitus for that period of time. This is called as periodic abstinence. Now, when we talk about natural methods, so here no usage of device, no usage of chemicals, nothing will be implied. Then comes the withdrawal method or the coitus interruptus. So during this method, right before the ejaculation, meaning right before the sperms are released, the penis is taken out, because of which the sperms are not released into the vaginal passage, which would prevent the fertilization from taking place. So this is withdrawal method, to withdraw the penis right out. And this is also known as coitus interruptus. After that, we have the lactational amenorrhea, which is the third and the last natural method. Here what happens, amenorrhea means no menstruation taking place. So when the female is exclusively breastfeeding the kid, during that time, she does not have any menstruation period. So here it is like for 6 months, she will not get her periods, because of which she'll not be ovulating. As a result, this can be a natural method of contraception. Now, the natural methods do not require any device or any medicine, but it is not 100% effective. It does not have any side effect, that's true. No side effect, zero side effect, but it is not effective. It's like very much like 50-50. Like, yeah, like the couple can get pregnant or not. Then comes the second kind, which is barrier method. Now, all of you understand what barrier means. It's like a physically, you can say, a stoppage. So it is the process by which the sperm and the ovum, they are not allowed to meet physically. The first contraceptive under the barrier method is the condom. It is the tubular latex sheath, a sheath made up of latex, which is worn on the male partner's penis. Okay, and What happens whenever the ejaculate comes? It gets collected into this condom only and it does not reach the vaginal passage of the female. Apart from that, since the male is wearing the penis, so there is no contact in between the organs of male and female, which will protect them both from the STDs, sexually transmitted diseases. A common brand of condom is Nirod. Female condoms are also available in the market. Diaphragm, cervical caps, and walls. These are the barriers that are used by the females. They are used to cover the cervix and they are reusable. Condoms are not reusable. They prevent fertilization, but they do not prevent sexually transmitted diseases. Why? Because they are just covering the cervix. The vagina is still exposed. Then comes the chemical method. Here, certain chemicals that contains, you can say, spermicidal items. Spermicidal means something that has a chemical that is supposed to kill the sperm. So those creams, jellies, and foams that have the spermicidal property, they can be used along with the physical barrier so that the effectiveness or the contraceptiveness would be increased a lot. After that, we have the intrauterine devices. Up until now, do you have any doubts?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Now talking about intrauterine devices. Intra means within. Uterine refers to the uterus and devices is obviously a device. So these are the devices that are inserted into the uterus through the vagina. And obviously a doctor does it. Now the intrauterine devices, they are of three types. Non-medicated, copper releasing, and hormone releasing. Now, those that are non-medicated, the example is Lippes loop, meaning here they will not release any sort of, you can say, chemical or such, but they will increase the phagocytosis within the uterus. Phagocytosis, basically a process in which as soon as the sperm would come, or you can say the fertilized egg would come, it would kill it. Then there is copper releasing. So there are three types, CU7, CUT, and multi-load 375. Now what they do, they suppress the sperm motility and fertilizing capacity of the sperm. So they do not let the sperm fertilize the ova. The last one is the hormone releasing intrauterine device such as LNG20 progestasert. So they make the uterus unsuitable for implantation and they make the cervix hostile so that even if the fertilization successfully happened, but still it will not get implanted. Talking about the intrauterine devices, they are the most accepted method of contraception in India, the most accepted one. After that, we have the oral contraceptive. So here, certain combinations of hormones in the form of tablets or pills are taken. It may contain the progesterone or a combination of progesterone and estrogen. These are synthetic forms of hormones. So, pills are taken for 21 days, starting within the first 5 days of menstrual cycle. And then during this time, like meaning during the time when the menstrual phase is happening, meaning during the time of menses, then at that time the pill is not taken for a gap of 7 days and then repeated yet again once the periods are over. Talking about what does the oral contraceptive do, the first thing is that it inhibits ovulation. It does not let ovulation happen. It inhibits implantation. Let's just say the fertilization took place, but it will not let it get implanted. Apart from that, it alters the quality of the cervical mucus, meaning it makes it so thick that the sperms can't enter through it. They are very effective and as comparative to all of the other contraceptives, they have lesser side effects. Okay, so Saheli is a non-steroidal pill and it is taken once a week. It has very few side effects and high contraceptive value. Where was it developed? So it was developed in CDRI, that is Central Drug Research Institute in Lucknow. Clear? Any doubts up until now? Any doubts, Siddhika? Hello, am I audible? Okay, now you can start noting it down. Then we'll move forward. Done? Shall I scroll?
Yes, ma'am.
Done, ma'am.
Done?
Done. Done. Done, ma'am. Done, ma'am.
Done?
Done, ma'am.
All right, so let's just keep it till here only. Now, in the next class, we'll continue with implants and injections, and then hopefully try to next class means tomorrow.